Hi everyone, this is Catherine and I'm making this video to show you how I put the weave in Seamus's tail. Seamus is the horse in the picture I posted on the Draft Horse site on Facebook. So we'll get to it after I show you all the things that I used to do this. Okay, so here are all the tools that I used when I did Seamus's tail. We'll start with the hair. I got it in white, I got it in black, and these two are actually a little bit heavier strands. And then I got this really cool one, which went from black to gray to white. I bought this mostly because it was the only one I could find that was longer at the time, but then I found this one, which is 32 inches. And I got it on Amazon, and I will put some links below this video so that you can see some of the stuff that I got. Just a note that you can get this hair in all sorts of colors, even rainbow, which I don't know, I might try that next year. My husband says he doesn't really care what color I put in there. So when you buy this hair, they provide you with these hooks. Okay, let's see if we can get up close with this one. This is the weaving hook for the smaller ones. You can see it has a little lever there. This was the weaving hook for the thicker ones with the lever. Okay. They also included some bling, which I did not use, but I guess you could do that if you wanted to. The other thing that I used are, regular braiding rubber bands for when I make the braids. But then I realized with all that work that I put in weaving this stuff that I had to secure the braids a little bit better. So on top of the rubber bands, I used needle and thread. Now this thread I got for working with leather. It's kind of waxy, so it does stick, and it's a little bit thicker. So I'm hoping that this will keep the braids in. And then the needle was a little bit thick, not too thick, but big enough hole on the end so old eyes can still thread it. And we of course have here it is, scissors. Often helps if you have everything handy before you start working on the horse. All right, then we will get to it and I will go grab Seamus. There are two more things that you're going to want: a good comb for making your braids, and a regular hair clip to keep the hair out of the way that you're not braiding when you make the braids, because you want to start probably 3 or 4 inches down from the top of the tail. Take all that hair, put it up in the clip, and then do your braids underneath, so that in the finished product, the non-braided hair lays nicely over the braided hair. Makes it look nice. Okay, before we get started, I want to show you how to use the hook with the lever. Okay, take your hair, and there's a loop at the end, and you push the hook through. Then I close the lever. Now, or you can leave it open. And then now you would go through the braid on the horse's tail, and I'll show you how to do that. And once you're through, you take the other end. I kind of pull it tightly so I'm not catching hairs as I go through the loop, and I flip the lever up and I pull it through. Okay, and I pull it all the way through, and then voila, you tighten it, and this is actually wrapped around part of the braid, and it's pretty secure. So I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to get Seamus now, and I'm going to show you what it looks like now after about a week being in his tail, and what it looks like in the end product. And just note that this is the first time I've done this, so as I do it more, I'll probably do it better, maybe different method, I'm not sure. Or when you do it, you might actually come up with something better as far as getting it in the tail. And if you do, please share it with us. You can put a link underneath this video. Any comments underneath the video would be great too. I'm always trying to find new things to make my horse's life happier. Thanks. Yeah, I'll go get them. Right, so this is Seamus. This is my husband's spotted draft. He's 18 years old. This is the front end of that nice big white hiney you saw in the picture. Just wanted to introduce you to him, and we will start looking at his tail. All right, so it's been a week, and I would have to say that the tail is looking pretty good so far. So if we take a look underneath here, you can see a bunch of braids, okay? This is actually his hair here, right in there. Whoops, sorry, right in here. And as you can see, I have braided pieces, actually wove pieces in there, okay? And I put 3 braids across here. And boy, these things are holding up really nicely, okay? Close-up look, how I hooked each piece of hair into part of the braid, okay? And then down at the end, I put quite a few in. This hair is not really heavy, so you're not going to really do damage to what's left of the poor guy's tailbone, all right? Now, after that, I put more braids underneath them. My braiding got a little bit better as I went along. Okay? And then I put a whole bunch of the longer hair in here. And if you take a look here, hold on a second, let me get this. Can you see it? I have stitched over the rubber band in order to make sure, because these rubber bands, you know, after about a week or two, they kind of fall apart and come out, and you don't want to spend all this time weaving this hair in only to have it fail because of a rubber band. So that's why I use the waxy thread to stitch them in, okay? So we'll look at more of these. So this is some of his own longer natural hair that he has left. Because I was really trying to get it so that it was long enough that when he swished his tail, he could actually get some of the flies over here. Yes, I'm talking about you. So, put a bunch of the longer ones in here. So I kind of mixed it up a bit, trying to be creative here. That's kind of a messy one, but it's functional. And then we got some more over here. So as you can tell so far, this is not a quick thing to do. I did this over 2 days. Really wasn't difficult. But the end result, while not a natural tail, I think it looks pretty darn good. So, and he is pretty happy about it. And the other thing that I noticed is when, you know, without this weave in, when he would go after flies, he would just go up and down with his tail like that. I was watching him in the pasture the other night, and he's actually going back and forth now, using it like a regular tail. So, it's staying in well. I'm pretty pleased so far. So to show you how I actually weave it in, I'm going to go get my mare, Nora, because Seamus's tail is already done, but Nora has a full tail, but I'm going to use her as a guinea pig to show you how I did it. So this is my big girl, Nora, the queen of the barn. She's pretty sure she shouldn't have to do this and was trying to escape. But she has a full tail. As you can see here. And I think she's pretty nice hiney too. But I will show you, she will be our model on how to put weaves into a horse's tail. Okay, so now we're about to start. Before I start, I usually put a couple rubber bands on my finger so it's easier. I don't have to be reaching for rubber bands after I've made the braid. To start, like I said, a little bit down from the top of the tail. Take that hair clip. I hope this holds because her tail's really thick. Okay. Now in Seamus I did 1, 2, 3 braids, then went down a little bit further, picked up the tail, clipped it up again, 1, 2, 3 braids. And I did that, I believe, 3 times. And then on his tail at the very bottom, where the poor guy got docked, I took the longest hair and braided it there to try to get some length with the synthetic hair. So we will just put a braid in this. I assume everybody knows how to braid. It's pretty simple. 3 strands, and you keep switching the strands that go over it. And this is turning out to be a messy braid, but what we do for what we're doing. Nora, could you just stand there, please, honey? Okay, got our braid. Good, we're still in the frame, always helpful. And put the rubber band around. And then I have to go get my needle and thread, which is right here. So you have the needle, thread, and in the end, you should make a knot, okay? Make sure they're even. I roll them around, okay? Just a knot, doesn't have to be anything fancy. And now you have your needle and thread. Now to secure this, let's see if I can't get her to move back so you can see this a little better. Hold on. Okay, the braid that you just made, there's the rubber band. Just not through through one side of the braid. I put the needle, and then I just go through the loop like that, and then I go through the other side and through the loop like that. And then I will probably put a couple of loops around. So it's kind of like sewing. So what I just did there was I looped it around and came through the loop and pulled it tight. Now it's nice and tight. Okay, now I want to secure it, so I'll go from the top of the stitch to the bottom of the rubber band, vertically, like that, loop through. Nora, don't go anywhere. Nora, come back. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Then we had the vertical stitch. So I go down again and just do another one just to be sure. Okay, like that. Put my needle through, pull tight, and that is secure. Okay? Now, we are going to put this in her tail. So, as before, I'll show you again. Hook. There's a loop here. I put it through here, okay? And the latch is back. And I hope you can see this. I go through one side of the braid, okay? I bring this around, hold it like that, and I pull this tight so that none of the braid goes outside the loop. I flip this, and then I pull it through here, and then I pull it through the loop like I showed before. Well, screw that one up. Let's try it again. It's really hot here and my hands are sweating. So I pull it through the loop, okay? And go like this, and then pull this tight. Obviously, with a better braid, it's not going to come out like this. But that's basically what you're going to do. So you want the braid to be fairly tight, not too tight. Stitch it in, and there you have it. That's actually really crappy. We're going to do this over. Okay, so we're going to start again because that other braid was subpar. So once again, we put the crochet hook through the loop, okay? And I go into one side of the braid, okay? If you notice, the latch is back here. I grab this through my fingers like that, and I hook onto the other end. And I kind of pull this tight because I found as trial and error that if I didn't, strands would go outside the hook and it would mess it up trying to get it through the loop. I close the latch, kind of pick up like this, and pull through the loop. Voila. Then I pull the rest of the hair through, and there we have one strand in there. So really, all you need to do is keep looping strands through the braid. You can go up the braid, you can put a bunch down at the end of the braid, and that's really it. Now, it is time consuming, but if you take your time and do it slowly, in the end, you'll have a tail that looks like Seamus's, maybe even, probably even better, especially if you put colors in it. So I hope this video helped. Questions, please send them to me. Ideas, please send them to me. And I will also post again in probably like 2 or 3 weeks to show you how the tail is holding up. And excuse my sweating, but it's really hot here. So enjoy. Please show me some pictures of what you did for your draft horses, and I'm sure that they will appreciate it. Thanks again for watching.